Welcome to Fandom of the Opera, Paradox Opera's podcast where we talk about opera, fandom, and everything in between. We're your hosts, Alissa
and Gwen.
And something's about to happen.
It sure is.
So last week we talked about cats.
Yes.
And today we're talking about the fact that we live in hell. Because they can't all be fun.
That's true. Hopefully this isn't going to turn into a quagmire of existential despair.
It probably is.
But at least maybe like a fun one.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
So
get in the comments.
Basically, we were trying to figure out what we were talking about this week, and I have been dealing with a string of woes over the last several weeks that have culminated with the topic of the socioeconomic impossibility of being an artist. Because we live in hell.
Yeah.
And how, honestly, that ties a lot into the work that I do with Paradox Opera. Because while I know I am not going to change the entirety of this hellscape in a single podcast episode or with a small opera company in North Carolina, so help me God, I'm going to fucking try to at least make it suck a little bit less somewhere for someone.
I appreciate that.
I try really hard.
You really do.
I'm angry at the world because I already know this, but it has become so painfully present in the goings-on of my professional life over the last couple of weeks, how much we have trained society at large to devalue the arts to the point that it bleeds into the artists themselves sometimes. And we are stuck in a spiral that I don't know that it's going to change until the entire structure breaks, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is, at least in part, the dark side of all art is political.
Right.
That all art makes some sort of statement about something, even if it's not an overt statement,
right.
Like the existence of the art and the way that it's made,
simply the act of creating the art,
tells you something about the artist and about the society in which they live, and that, like, the artist is part of society and cannot divorce themselves entirely from the world at large. And so something
try very hard.
Something of the world at large is going to creep in, and you can analyze that, but also society at large is going to have an effect on the way that artists interact with art itself.
Sure.
It's really unpleasant.
Yeah.
At the moment.
We have an epidemic right now.
And we're not just talking about the parasitic diarrhea.
Right. Or Radical 6. That's a deep cut. If you know, you know. Yeah. Of both the economy being a disaster, but also the way that society treats the workforce, TM, being a disaster, and having created this relatively universal American expectation that you, as a kid, go to school, then you go to college, which in theory will get you a job. Not anymore. That's a lie. Do you like that job? Probably not, but you're going to get that 9-to-5 job where you will have health care and a retirement plan. You'll marry someone that you may or may not like, have 2.5 kids, and definitely not make enough money to have a house. And then you'll retire and you'll have a safety
maybe
net. But
get a house anyway,
maybe,
whether or not you can afford it.
But then you'll have served your purpose as a slave to the machine, and you'll retire at probably 70 these days if you're lucky, and you will have that sweet retirement fund and have wasted 50 to 60 years of your life waking up every day and probably wanting to die. And that's the American dream, friends.
Yeah.
Yippee! Can you tell how I feel about this? And that, in and of itself, is a huge piece of why it is so hard to be an artist, because that doesn't fit into the expectation of American society, because we do not value the artist anymore as a valued citizen. We view artists as third-class citizens in this country.
There's a lot going on with that. There are, I think, a lot of different things that contribute to that.
I suppose I say artist very globally, but I suppose it really does depend on what medium you perform in or create in and where you fit into the pie. Because I would say that insert Hollywood actor here still gets to be called an artist, but they are viewed differently by society than a ballet dancer, than an opera singer, than a sculptor or a ceramicist.
American culture fetishizes
fame,
money, success. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of at the core of who we are as a nation. Mm-hmm. It's all about the individual. Mm-hmm. There's not a sense of community and the greater good quite the way that you might find in Europe or something like that.
I very specifically framed this discussion in American culture because I think there is a huge global problem, but our experiences are in America, and so I do not want to speak on something that I do not have as much experience interacting with.
Yeah. And sorry. I was going to say, and to be fair, there are global problems, economically speaking, and America is the driving force for a lot of those.
But I was going to say, even just in the way that different countries interact with classical musicians, I learned quite a lot of how much I don't know when I, not that long ago, made a post on whatever social media, and the post simply said, singers and instrumentalists should be paid the same. Hard stop. That was the post. The responses I got were fascinating because there was a lot of interpreting of what I said that was not at all what I said. A lot of people assuming that I was saying that one or the other group was paid more than the other. And obviously, if you are in our circle, you know how painfully underpaid singers are in comparison to instrumentalists. Apparently, that is not the case in Europe. And I got several very angry instrumentalists from the European side of things who were like, why the fuck do singers get paid so much for doing nothing? And I was like, what?
Tell me more about this world in which you live.
Right. Tell me more about how I need to move to Europe so I can apparently make double what the orchestra's making for singing 2 arias when they play a whole concert. Do I think that is fair? No. But what?
Yeah, that's wild.
What do you mean? And they were trying to say that that happens here all the time. And I was like, sure, if you're Renee Fleming. But, like, not if you're me. And I don't think I should be paid as much as the orchestra who is playing a whole concert and I'm singing 2 pieces. That's silly. I think I should be paid a living wage, but I don't think we should be paid the same because I'm probably rolling up to 2 rehearsals and a performance. And if they've got more services, then they should be paid more.
Yeah. You brought up the phrase living wage,
Yes.
which is an interesting thing to delve into because
Yeah.
it's the concept of this is what you need to be earning to
be able to provide
live
yourself with the basic necessities.
Necessities of life.
Yes.
In whatever your part of the country is.
Yeah.
So like a living wage in different parts of the country is going
different.
to be different.
Yeah, for sure.
But one of the things that very quietly suggests is that you have to work to be allowed to live. That
Yeah.
there's
It's almost like universal income would solve a lot of problems in society. And in the countries that have implemented it, it has. I mean, what?
you'll get politicians saying things like, you know, somebody who works 40 hours a week shouldn't be unable to pay for groceries. And it's then people will say like,
No one shouldn't be able to pay for groceries.
yeah, like food is required for life. One would think that it would be considered a human right.
Yeah.
People talk about a living wage as it is a very well-meaning concept.
Right.
But frequently the way that it gets framed is these people are working, they are part of our workforce, they deserve to be able to live, which carries the implication, intended or not, that people who are not part of the workforce have less of a right to exist.
And we see that in the way that society treats people who are any kind of disabled, who are, I mean, I guess this falls under the disability umbrella, but like too neurodiverse to work in a lot of standard work environments. Like,
Yeah.
they are so undervalued. I mean, devalued in society. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And, you know, you don't always gotta hand it to the Catholic Church. But one of the big things that has been going on recently is we've got the Chicago Pope
Yeah.
talking about being against AI and
Bonus points for that.
as part of a larger framework of like, this is part of a culture that does not respect inherent human dignity. And there is more to life than just being productive.
Right.
And people who cannot be productive members of society still have inherent value.
Yes.
And have inherent human dignity. And
Also, the definition of quote-unquote productivity is bullshit.
it feels cool to see the Roman Catholic Church be like, hey, you know what?
Maybe we should value people.
Maybe people deserve to be alive.
Have you considered?
Have you considered this?
And that's like a hot take.
And it really is.
Right.
Like, so many people on the internet have gotten mad
Yeah. Well, it's like,
about this because they're part of the trad Catholic resurgence that's all about the aesthetic of Catholicism
yeah.
and the legalism
Right.
of Catholicism without an understanding of what it actually stands for. Like, very much missing the forest for the trees kind of a thing.
There are so many Christians who don't have a clue what the core values of Christianity actually are.
And this brings me to another thing that I was going to say with regards to America and its weird relationship with the arts. You have the concept of the Protestant work ethic that has gotten baked into so much of American society, and that idea of like, you have to be productive in order to deserve something. Like, this idea of you have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps,
which is the most infuriating thing to me, that people have no idea the origin of that phrase. It literally is the opposite of what people
an impossibility.
Correct. It was never meant to mean what people have made it mean. The whole point is that it's stupid and you can't do it. I hate it. I hate people. I have divorced society.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I support
Fuck
this.
you people.
Yeah, you have the overwhelming idea that not being a contributing member of the workforce means that you are a burden on society, and that means you're a bad person, and that means that you deserve whatever is coming to you. Yeah. Basically.
I don't really know how we got here, but I don't care for it.
Yeah. And as I said, you do not gotta hand it to the Catholic Church on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you do have the head of this major religious organization being like, no, people should be allowed to exist.
Have you considered?
I
mean, this is twice in a row, because Pope Francis also was like, hey guys, have we considered that perhaps the gays might be kind of okay?
Yeah, and like
that also didn't go well.
And not that the Catholic Church is suddenly okay with acting on homosexuality, which it is very much
not.
Doctrinally not.
Yeah.
But just the fact that, like, hey,
have you considered they are also people?
Yeah.
And that they might be kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean,
deserving of this same thing that Leo is saying.
Yeah.
Like basic human dignity. Respect.
We're all children of God or whatever.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Oh, God. And this is a sidetrack thing, but it really is so interesting to see the dichotomy of the Catholic Church throughout history. Mm-hmm. Because certain parts of it in certain eras have very much stood with the powerful.
Yeah.
And then other parts of it in other eras have very much stood for the downtrodden. Mm-hmm. And so
it's a big old sine curve.
It feels so strange to like look at some of the things that the Catholic Church has done over the centuries and millennia and be like, you're responsible for the Crusades and for all kinds of political and religious strife around the globe. The Catholic Church had a major role in European imperialism, and it can't be divorced from that.
Yeah.
But also then you have the Catholicism of the people and figures like Oscar Romero who are like champions of the downtrodden, and You know, when you have a religion that says, you know, like, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, like, maybe you shouldn't be catering to the ultra wealthy who control everything.
Listen, inside each religion, there are two wolves.
Yes. I like this. Yeah.
That's all I have to add to that. Inside each religion, there are two wolves.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of them's a fascist, and one of them's
socialist? I don't know that
Sure.
we would go that far.
I mean,
maybe. Jesus was a socialist. And he was also not white.
well, now you're just saying things that are...
And he was probably bisexual and a huge slut. Let me tell you, canonically, Jesus fucked. Oh, I'm gonna make so many people angry.
I need to say, I take issue with the word canonically here.
Oh, yeah?
Because especially when you're talking about the Bible and, like, Christianity in general.
Who said I was talking about the Bible?
Which is why I added, and Christianity in general, that when you say canonically, it takes on a different meaning.
Fine. Historically. Historically, Jesus fucked.
I'm the person who writes the links posts, and so, like, I'm gonna need you to provide some fucking sources.
All right.
For this. Because, yes, there have been various theories and best-selling novels that say that, like, hey, yeah, you know, maybe Jesus and Mary Magdalene had a thing going on, and, you know, all of that. But I would not go so far, and I'm saying this as a godless queer, that I don't know that we have definitive evidence.
And therefore, a la Schrodinger's cat, it is all at the same time.
That's not how that works.
It's sound logic. Because if you can't know, then it's all of the possibilities.
That's not how that thought experiment works.
I
mean... No, if we had Jesus right here in a box and we couldn't observe him,
then he could be gay or not.
That would be the state of quantum uncertainty.
Yeah.
But, like, the past, that's something else, man.
Yeah, but if we don't have the hard records...
Phrasing.
Then there's a lot of possibilities. And therefore, they can all be true. They are all in quantum uncertainty forever. Because we'll never know. Unless we build a time machine and go find out just how gay Jesus was.
That's not how any of this works. This is oops all trains all over again. It is one thing to say that there is a lack of definitive evidence, and so one can't necessarily make a definitive statement one way or another. It's another to say that Jesus' sexuality is Schrodinger's cat.
No, I think that's a really good analysis. I think it's really good logic, and I stand by it.
All right. Coming up in 2 weeks, we're going to have an episode about our excommunication. And
that hasn't happened already?
I mean, not that I've been informed of.
Listen, I just got to get through the wedding and then they can excommunicate me.
That's
I'm
true.
a reverend now.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a Catholic priest.
No.
Because that is another one of the things you do not have to hand it to the Catholic Church about.
Because women cannot be ordained in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Because we are, in fact, second-class citizens.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that.
No. Nor I. But that's why I don't go there anymore. I also got kicked out when I was little for asking questions.
Of Sunday school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Unclear if that story is true, to be honest with you. I don't know if that was something that I actually remember, or if it's something someone told me, or if it's somehow completely made up. It's one of those memories that I'm like, I'm really convinced that is real, but I also am like not certain.
So in other words, this is your Schrodinger's cat
moment. Yep. Was I kicked out of Sunday school, or did I just quit?
Yes and
know.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only way to determine the truth
is to get a time machine.
And by observing it,
yes,
we will make it real.
Yes.
One way or the other.
Correct.
This is not...
I think it's good. I think it's good logic.
So America has a problem with the arts.
America has a problem. That's the end of the sentence.
America has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it's one big Gordian knot of
it's really quite
fucked.
Gnarly. Yes. But in particular, the classical arts are not valued in current day American society. And as a result, several major things happen to classical artists because of that. One being, you can only be one if you are independently wealthy. And the other being that if you are not independently wealthy and stubborn enough to keep trying, it's complicated.
There is an undeniable advantage that people who come from generational wealth,
yes,
or who have partners,
right,
who can support them,
right,
etc., etc.
On multiple levels and at multiple stages as well, because even if we go all the way back to education prior to jumping into just career,
yeah,
even being able to have access to high level training in the classical arts is incredibly expensive and difficult to access for a plethora of reasons outside of money too. Just like availability in your location. Like, I mean, this is a global problem as well. But if you have money, you can go to the best school that you can get into and have it paid for. Yippee, good for you. If you don't, you've got to hope that you can get scholarship and that you are able to survive a college degree, even if your college degree is free.
No, it's not.
Right. You still have to live.
Yeah.
And that's probably not being provided to you. So if you get a full scholarship to go and get a college degree in the classical arts, you will still need to have some amount of income to feed yourself, possibly house yourself. Sometimes that's included if you're lucky, but frequently not all 4 years. And so there's a lot of students who will work a job to get themselves through college, but in a music degree, that's basically impossible because they take up every moment of your time.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to get through that if that's the path that you want to take. So there's a whole huge barrier there as well. But then even if we completely take that off the table and just go into career, the vast majority of opportunities currently are either non-paying opportunities or you pay them, pay-to-sings opportunities. So if you've just got pockets full of cash, you can just buy yourself a career. Good job, you did it. Yippee. If that's not your situation, then you are fighting for low-paying gigs, if they pay at all, that are too few and far between, and the higher-paying gigs being gate-kept by access to management.
Yeah.
Travelability for auditions, which is not covered. You have to pay to fly somewhere, pay a pianist to audition, pay to house yourself there. Some places more and more are taking tapes now because the pandemic really showed a lot of people the things we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
For access. But not every company now will take tapes. I've had a lot of companies that I've written to that I'm like, hey, I would really love to audition for you, but I actually can't come to your auditions because I have another gig during your auditions. And they're like, too bad, fuck you. So there's also that problem of if you are booked, then the challenge of getting continuing work, if they insist on you taking these in-person auditions, it's a really negative spiral all around.
Yeah. And there is the question of what a stable career for a performing artist would look like.
I mean,
and
stable, I would say, is like, can you pay all your bills?
Right.
But if you mean stable as like, well, am I performing consistently? Those are two different things.
Well, right. In some ways, a combination of both.
Sure.
That it's like you are performing consistently enough that you can pay all your bills.
Sure.
From that. And that's frequently a life of like, you are always on the road. You're always traveling somewhere, living out of a suitcase, and chances are you are paying for an apartment or a house
wherever, right?
Wherever your
home
fucking
base.
stuff
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That you're never there, because in order to keep
right
afloat, you have to keep moving on to the next gig and the next gig, and like,
and that's assuming you can find companies that will hire you if you don't live there.
Right. And at a certain level, that I think is to a degree the kind of business model that you're like, okay,
you're just always on the move.
You've got to go to where the work is and where it pays well enough to make it worthwhile, and that's just kind of like all over the place. But being able to be a consistent performing artist who stays largely in one place is much harder, I would say. Depending.
I would say it's kind of 50-50, and it depends on what kind of performing you're doing and also where you are, because there's also the complicating factor of, like, you have this business model of, yes, you're always going to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, but that really predominantly is at a very high level.
Right. That's people who are singing leading roles
at A and B
in
houses.
A and B houses around the country and the world.
And that's like kind of it. And then you get to the slightly smaller scale, and you have this kind of mixed bag that I have found that drives me personally up the wall, where you have companies who will only hire local, and then you have companies who will absolutely not hire local because you're not interesting or famous enough for them. Right. And I can never move to a place where they'll hire local people.
So you started your own company.
Correct, because I'm pissed off. But, for example, I have several friends in, like, the DC Metroplex, the Chicago area, New York, who have full-time performing careers, and they basically never leave their home.
Right.
I mean, their city, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, they go out and do the gigs. But also, a lot of that work is higher level chorus work. A lot of like multiple
Washington National Opera or
right,
Chicago Lyric
Opera,
and
the Met Opera Chorus.
yeah.
In between that, other professional choir gigs. In between that, 5 to 6 different churches. Occasionally, solo concert work and lead roles in operas with smaller companies, but much less frequently than the higher level chorus work, which is readily available and very consistent
Right.
in those places. Like if you get a gig in those A-level house choruses, like you have full-time work with an actual salary.
Yeah.
And it's pretty consistent unless you fuck it up.
Right.
Like, once you get those tenured contracts, that's really the only equatable thing that opera singers have to orchestra positions.
Yeah. But those are
But they're hard to get.
few and far between.
Right.
And you've got to be in the place that has them.
Correct. I mean, there are some people who travel out of state to sing in like Chicago Lyric Chorus, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
But I know several people that is the case. You can't do that at the Met because the Met does 26 shows a season, but Lyric does like 6.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy in and of itself. 26 shows a season. How the Met functions is truly perplexing to me. For so many reasons.
For so many reasons.
That's a story for another day.
So you're in this situation of there are ways that you can have a full-time performing career and not need other work.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those are going to be either like you have to travel around all the time, or you have to live in a particular place, in a hub, and be one of the lucky few.
Yeah.
Because like, so it's not something that a lot of people.
I do want to briefly push back on the concept of be one of the lucky few, because while yes, there absolutely is a factor of luck in what we do, if you have put in the work and you have honed your craft and you are at the top of your game, if you keep showing up, at some point, that will be the thing that makes you, quote unquote, one of the lucky few. If you just last longer than everyone else, you will get the job.
Right. But that ability to keep showing up and to keep at it year after year is another one of those things that is easier for people with generational wealth or with partners with real quote unquote jobs who can support them. That like it is that sort of you have to keep trying until you get that one important break.
Right.
And even just the ability to keep trying until you get that break is something that like is going to be easier for someone who already has a baseline of financial stability.
Right.
And since there are so few of these jobs, sometimes people will get offered something that they would like to take, but then they can't afford to take it for whatever reason. Maybe the pay isn't good enough, or maybe like
often the pay isn't good enough.
They have a survival job to pay the bills, and they can't take the necessary time off, which is what we're running into now.
This really is one of the things that I am the most furious about at the moment. I obviously understand the state of the world that we are in, and I do not fault anyone for having to do what they have to do to survive. But the fact that the large majority of jobs are not employers but slavers, and then prevent these people from actually pursuing their career as an artist, makes me incandescently angry.
Yeah. The people that a corporation
Yes.
will hire
Sure.
aren't people so much as they are
Cogs in a machine.
Yes, basically. And to remove one of them for a couple weeks so they can do a well-paying and artistically fulfilling project, they're going to be like, who's going to be the cog?
We need you to stay here and hate yourself instead of going to do something that will pay you the same amount of money and actually be fulfilling, because God forbid you do that, the other thing won't be here when you get back.
Right. And I think that that's interesting because one of the aims of Paradox Opera is to pay artists what they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's
no one
not
else
an
does.
industry standard,
Yeah.
that actually, even though the pay is incredibly respectable, it's just well, this is great this once, but then if I have to give up my stable employment to go do this thing, what else is going to fill that niche? And there aren't a lot of other small companies at our level that put the same emphasis on paying artists what they're worth. And
I mean, I know several other companies that are, so what we mentioned before, A level and B level houses, the categorization of opera houses is based on their annual budget. I don't remember exactly what the tiers are, but that's what that means. So A is the highest tier of budget, and they go down the alphabet as the budget is smaller and smaller.
Somewhere there's an anime fan who's mad that there isn't an S tier house.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're an S tier house.
Hell yeah.
Because this is where I'm going with this. I know several companies that are, I don't remember exactly where they are, either C or D tier houses. And I don't think we are categorized at the moment. Although I guess we just could do the math and be like, I guess we're this, but we have not been nationally recognized as part of the system TM at the moment.
And I think maybe being classified as a house implies that you have,
a building,
a place to be.
Maybe. Unclear.
Anyway,
I know several houses that pay as much or less than we do that are classified quote unquote houses. So it's really telling of where I stand as a company manager that the large majority of our funds go to our artists, and where we may have a smaller budget than, say, for example, just because they're our neighbors, the North Carolina Opera, that we are paying pretty comparable fees. And they have way more money than we do. Now, they also rent a much larger theater. They have much more elaborate sets and costumes.
They have a much longer rehearsal period.
Correct. But still end up having pretty similar artist contracts. There's also different tiers of artist contracts, and I try to avoid that as much as possible because that makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
I was going to say that I think probably because the only stuff that I've ever done with them has been chorus and compromario, that I am better paid working with Paradox Opera than I was working at North Carolina Opera, because I'm getting to do things that I wasn't that I did not get the chance to do there. And there is less of that kind of divide.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even like I'm working with someone on an upcoming show who has worked with both of these companies in the same level position, in a secondary role in both companies, and the pay is the same. And
So-
like that's not a knock on North Carolina Opera, because like they're not paying pennies. It's just that like the percentage of the budget that goes where is an interesting thing to assess.
Yes.
And
we have a substantially smaller budget, and a much larger percentage of that budget gets directed to the artists.
Correct.
And
so when we do things like with Next to Normal, like we didn't have a set. That was an intentional design choice. So we didn't have to spend $5,000 on a set. I could instead pay our artists.
yeah.
And the people who did the scenic design and helped make the scenic design amazing for $500 instead of $5,000.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that makes Paradox Opera a like great company to work with and work for, and it's a mission that I really believe in. But I do think it's funny that now we are seeing the like, oh yeah, this is great that we are offering this.
But because
it's
no one
not...
else is, it's making it so that the people that I want to work with can't work with me.
Yeah. It's not sustainable because not enough of the industry or it's not sustainable for an individual artist to to leave a stable job because there's not enough other work that pays on a similar scale. Right. And so this is a great opportunity, but it is a like one-time thing.
Right. Because like we do our best to pay $1,000 a week. And if that were a salaried job, like obviously time off, whatever, but like $50K a year is like a decent salary. I mean, you're not rich.
Yeah.
But like that is very much, especially if you're living in North Carolina, a very easily livable salary. Like you're not gonna be rich, but you will pay your bills and be pretty comfortable. Like I said, we're not gonna solve this in one podcast, and I'm not gonna solve it by myself as one company, but that is something that I really am trying to be a force in changing, because that's why I'm here and doing this and creating more opportunity, because I absolutely do think there is plentiful room for more opportunity. Like we also talk about the oversaturation of the industry, and there's too many people and not enough jobs. And in part that is because of the devaluing of the art form in society. And so it's not that we can't create more jobs and more opportunities. We just need the people to do it.
Yeah.
But that is something too. And this is something that probably people are going to get in a fight about. And I don't know. You might get in a fight with me about it right now.
Great.
Who knows?
We're going to fight.
But, you know, you talk about being one of the lucky ones, about winning the audition, about getting the opportunity that sets you up. I've won in my career one audition. I am a full-time working artist. I have won one audition, and it wasn't even in person. It was from a tape. I have the career that I have because I have made it with my own two hands. That I have created my own opportunities and have then also created opportunities for others, which is really important to me. And it frustrates me how many people don't recognize that that is absolutely on the table for everyone.
Yeah.
You can make your own opportunities. You can.
And a lot of people don't get that.
Right.
That's not
like,
part of the education
right.
aspect.
And it should be.
Because when you are going through school, when you're going through the process, what you learn is like, okay, you're going to take auditions. You're going to fly to New York and you're going to sing for all these companies and you're going to do competitions and like there is
high key fuck competitions.
God,
That can be a whole other episode because
Yeah.
fuck competitions. I have such disdain for competitions because I just think at their core they are antithetical to what this art form is about.
That's entirely fair, and I don't disagree.
It's a collaborative art form. Why are we making it something where we tear each other down? I hate that. But anyway, that's another episode. We're not taught in school that we can make our own opportunities.
Right. We're taught that you are going to go and you are going to...
You're going to get a YAP. You're going to win a competition.
You're
going to get a manager.
Look for the young artist programs and for the auditions and the managers. And there's a very kind of established career progression. And more as time goes on and as the economy gets worse
it's just not realistic.
As more and more arts organizations go under and like that's not how it works anymore. It's kind of it feels like the equivalent of people telling you like, oh, you're looking for a job, so just like walk into a store and hand the manager your resume and
go to a temp agency. Those don't exist anymore.
Look them in the eye and give them a firm handshake and they'll respect you and they'll hire you. And it's like...
that works for me.
I'll kill you.
I've done that.
Yeah, you say that you have built this career with your own two hands, but that makes me be like... I don't know if you're beating the witchcraft allegations.
I never said I was denying them.
Oh, okay. Well then, I mean, I guess you can perform witchcraft with your own two hands.
Yes, I have many a time and I will continue to do so.
Yeah, you've got to stir the pot, cauldron, whatever the fuck. That's probably racist against...
Yeah, I don't really do potions.
I'm not that kind of witch.
It's messy. I like the clean stuff. Set it on fire.
Yes, fire. Famously clean.
Yes, you do, right?
Leaves behind no byproducts.
It's wet after you take care of it, but...
Phrasing.
Nope.
Anyway.
Make your own opportunities.
Yes.
Here's the thing, too, is I am very frequently frustrated by people looking at what I do and being like, oh, well, I could never do that. And I'm like, why not? What do you think that I have that you don't have? Perhaps audacity. Learn it.
Witchcraft. Learn it.
But here's the thing, right? If you are any kind of working musician, singer in particular, you almost certainly have a church job. Great. Guess what? You have a venue. You want to do a concert? You have a venue. Is your music director a decent pianist? Possibly. Probably. Do you have a good rapport with them? Talk to them and say, hey, I would love to do a concert here, like for our congregation. Would you collaborate on that with me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that costs you nothing, hypothetically, if they're game, you know? In theory, if you're a singer, you probably know some pianists because we have to.
Yeah.
Call one up and say, hey, friend, do you want to do you can start small. I did, back in the day, TM, before the pandemic, I did a multi-city concert tour with a friend of mine because we just wanted to make music together. We did concerts in Florida, Texas, Maryland, and was there a fourth city? No, I think we just ended up doing Texas and Maryland multiple times. So 3 cities, I want to say 5 or 6 performances, fully self-produced. We made money.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot, but we came out in the black, which just means in the positive. on a self-produced, like, just friends wanting to make music concert tour across multiple cities, even paying for our flights, all of the costs that went into it, we still came out positive just because we were like, we want to do this. And we pulled the connections we had and created this thing.
Yeah. I was going to take issue with the fact that you took a moment to explain what In the Black means. And I was like, do you think that our audience of nerds and classical musicians are that financially irrelevant? And then I thought about that for a second
It's
and
a
was
business
like,
term.
no, I think you were right to
it's a business term. It's if you don't run a business, you probably don't know what that means. I mean, you might, but
no one has ever accused our industry of being full of financially literate
yeah. Again, things you're not
people.
taught in school.
Yes.
But all that to say, like, sure, yes, I started a whole ass nonprofit and do fully staged operas and musicals now, but you don't have to do that to create your own opportunities.
Yeah. A lot of what you do to create your own opportunities is just like emailing someone and being like, hey, so I have this idea for a concert.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, I saw your announcement that you're doing this piece.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a soloist yet? Because, hey, I've
Give it
sung
to
this
me.
before.
Yeah.
Here's a video
Yeah.
of me doing
And,
this.
and not being afraid to just ask people for things. I mean,
Yeah.
make friends, know who the people are in your area who have hiring power, make friends with conductors, make friends with ensemble directors, like, get into those spaces. Not saying that that's easy, but, like, it's doable. You're smart. If you survived a music degree, you're smarter than people give you credit for.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Like, actually, people who have a music degree, I think, are some of the smartest people because, oh my God, all of the shit you have to go through in those degrees. People don't understand how multifaceted you have to be to get those degrees and to be successful in that. But they, again, don't teach you these things.
Yes.
But yeah, like, just go and connect with people. If you are lucky enough to get a gig in any capacity, go and make friends with every single person who is at that gig. Are you singing with a chamber group? Make friends with the director of the ensemble. Make friends with every single one of those instrumentalists. Like, connect with people. That's going to lead to more things than an audition.
Yeah.
As she's saying, like, again, in the before times, I sing John Corleone's Mr. Tambourine Man all the time, everywhere. It's my favorite piece of music, and very few people sing it, which is a benefit to me. If people want to do it, there's like 3 of us. I really wanted to do it with this one conductor friend of mine. So the 2 of us then went to the contemporary music ensemble in our area and said, hey, we want to do this piece. We think it'd be a great fit for you. Would you be interested? And they were like, amazing, let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
And then we did it. And yeah, like, literally a couple days ago, a conductor that I'd worked with here previously found out something on their season. And I said, hey, you're doing this thing. I sing it. Here's a video of me singing it. Hire me. And he was like, thanks for solving my problem. And I got a job. Because I just emailed someone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, outside of your own producing, just ask people for things. You never know. The worst they're going to say is no. And the answer is definitely no if you don't ask. You get taught that that's like a faux pas, I think, a lot in school, which is weird. Because it's not. I mean, don't be a dick.
Yes.
But
read the room.
Cold emailing is absolutely not a faux pas. Just learn how to write a good email.
Yeah, don't fucking ChatGPT that shit.
No, be a person.
Be a person.
But also, if you have the opportunity to be in the same room as the person you want to meet, like, go meet them and then send them an email. Go to one of their concerts. Meet them after the concert. Introduce yourself. Be a person.
Yeah. You know, I can't stress this enough. People are preferable to not people.
And I will say as well, in my experience in that specifically, I think there's a lot of stigma around like singers' interactions with conductors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of conductors get a bad rap because there's a couple of assholes. And so then people get scared and think that everyone's an asshole. But that is very much not the case. And there's a lot of people that I know who are in like quote unquote positions of power who have really appreciated that I just speak to them like a person, that I'm not intimidated by them. I'm just like, hey, what up? What's up, homie? How we doing? And I have gotten jobs because I don't have this weird like fear or reverence for them. I'm just like, hey, what's up, colleagues? Yippee. They really appreciate you just being a person.
It is a collaborative art form, and you are all in the same boat.
And if they don't react that way, then they probably are a dick and you don't want to work for them anyway, so it's fine. Don't. It's totally fine. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. You're just not going to work for an asshole. You dodged a bullet. You're welcome.
Jazz hands. So, yeah. The world's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The economy's in the shitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so are many of our citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And being an artist
is next to impossible
in a country that's on fire and being run by not just fascists, but truly the most unbelievably stupid fascists.
It really is a combination of stupid and evil.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really believe in the core concept of evil, but now I do.
Yeah.
I think people are really complex and can do bad things but not be black of heart. But,
right. The question of, like, are you a good person or a bad person is largely a useless question.
Yeah. But these people are objectively bad people.
Yes.
Which I will almost never say.
Yeah. And it's difficult
yeah.
to be an artist and be trying to keep yourself alive, either solely as an artist or as an artist who has another job that you have to work around in order to make your art life happen. But there are ways to do it. It's going to require the audacity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to require a certain amount of fuck it, we ball energy.
That's another thing. I don't want to go on a whole tangent now that we've been talking for so long, but you cannot be an artist and be risk averse. And we are trained nowadays to be very risk averse as a society.
Yes.
So that's part of it too.
Both in and out of the arts.
Yes.
Like just as people.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Our society is teaching its citizens to be risk averse.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot that goes into that and a lot of facets of the way that rears its head, both like in person and online. And that's a whole other thing that we could spend hours talking about. But the willingness to take a risk and the willingness to say something or make something or do something, even if it's not necessarily perfect or not necessarily palatable to everyone.
If it's not palatable to everyone, good job, you made art.
Yeah, like that's an important thing to have as a person, but it's especially necessary for being an artist.
Oh yeah.
Because
if you're scared of upsetting someone as an artist, ooh, I got news for you. It's bad news.
It's not the most stable life necessarily, and the way that the industry is built, as we said,
Is bad.
is bad in a lot of ways, and as many parts of our world do, favors people who already have some sort of financial security. But there are ways that you can still...
There is always a way.
Practice your art. There are ways you can still live the life that you want to live. You might have to get creative with how exactly you do that and like what the balance is. But just because we live in hell doesn't mean that every day of your life also has to be hell.
Correct. And that doesn't mean you have to be an artist. Like, I really try to empower people, regardless of your discipline, to chase the things that bring you joy, even if that's hard. Because do you really want to spend your entire life, especially your prime physical years, just working a job that you hate and being miserable every day, all of the time? Like, I don't think anybody actually wants that. And if you do, I have questions. So, yes, we live in hell. The machine is bad and broken.
And it is the machine's job to grind you to dust.
Right.
And
Which is
all
why
of us.
we need to say no to the machine.
Because the machine doesn't care about us.
Correct. It just cares about the product.
The American dream is and has always been a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to want better.
Yes.
For ourselves.
Everyone.
And for our neighbors.
Yes. We should care about our neighbors and have community. Whoa, I know that's a scary word.
Yeah, because it sounds like communism.
Scary.
Yeah.
Really scary. Caring about your neighbor.
Yeah.
Wild.
Couldn't be me. Fuck those guys.
I mean, as people who haven't met most of our neighbors, because we don't go outside.
Right. I love that this is coming on the heels of like, yeah, you're in a gig with somebody, like go up, make friends with everybody who's around you, and then we get home from that gig and it's like,
nobody.
Who the fuck are any of you people who live within a 3-block radius of
In my defense, and this has happened everywhere I've ever lived, is in my defense, I have ADHD.
Yes.
And so I always am like, you know what? It would be so nice when I move in to like do the thing where I go and like knock on my direct neighbors' doors and be like, hey, I'm the new girl who just moved in. What's up? But I always forget until I've lived here for like too long for me to feel like that's a normal thing to do. And then I get embarrassed and then I never do it.
Yeah. And
now I've lived here for 6 years and I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I've lived here for 6 years.
Hi. I know it's been a while, but
yeah,
I'm your new neighbor.
Right. I'm like, you can't do that. There is an expiration date on that.
That's fair.
And so I am very much someone who does go and make friends with everyone at a gig and all of that.
But you're like, I didn't do that right away.
So I can't do it ever.
Now I guess I'll just die. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
And also, there's, you can't go around bringing cookies to your neighbors and things like that because people online will get mad about it.
Right, because they're obviously laced with drugs.
Because there was that one person who made a batch of chili for her neighbors and, like, brought it over to them and like posted about it on Twitter and then like it turned into a multi-day discourse of like, was this the right thing to do, or was this actually like low-key the worst? Like, does it make you a bad person
to bring chili to your neighbors?
To make chili and give it to your neighbors?
See, here's my genuine concern about giving food gifts to someone you don't know is like there are so many allergens and like food aversions that it's like, is there a universally safe food that you could bring to people? I genuinely don't think so. Because like you've got to go completely allergen free, gluten free, sugar free. What does that leave you? A fucking apple? People could be allergic to apples.
Yeah.
People are allergic to apples. People are allergic to everything. So, like, what do you do? Because it would be the worst to go and be like, knock, knock. Hello, new neighbor. It's so nice to meet you. I brought you these fresh peaches. And they'll go, if I eat that, I'll die. Well, shit. Now I'm an asshole, even though I couldn't have known.
Why are you trying to kill Daniel Tiger?
Is Daniel Tiger allergic to peaches?
Yes.
So, you see? You see? You can't win. So what do you bring them that's not going to accidentally maybe kill someone? Do you bring them a rock? Do you do witchcraft? You say, I brought you a protective gemstone? Then they're going to think you're a fucking freak. Which you are, but like, you don't
heard
want
it
them to
here.
know that.
You heard it here, folks. Witches are fucking freaks.
No, I meant you.
Oh, me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Exactly.
I am.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with my feelings on witchcraft.
Right. But like, I think it'd be kind of really cool to go meet your neighbors and be like, it's so nice to meet you. I brought you a protection spell. But they would probably think that's not cool.
You would find out a lot
Yeah.
about your neighbor based on how they reacted to that.
Like, what do you do? What is the answer? How do you meet your neighbors with a gift that's not going to go horribly wrong?
I have nothing but a long extended silence because I am bad at talking to strangers.
Oh, I'm not, but I don't know how to give them presents because I don't know them.
Yeah.
I can talk to a stranger all day, but give you a gift? What?
Yeah. And to be fair, nobody says you actually have to give them a gift.
What if you bring a bottle of water? Like a nice bottle of water. Like from Iceland.
Maybe they'll be like, look at this bougie bitch who thinks I can't drink my own water.
Well,
you think you're better than me?
I tried. I failed.
I don't know. No matter what you do, there will always be someone who finds a way to be mad about it.
What if you just bring like a pretty empty little glass bottle for whatever purposes they want?
That could fall.
Is that witchcraft?
And shatter.
Oh, and then people are going to die from the shards.
And then, yeah.
And then it's going to be like third-degree murder.
Yeah, you'll get a call from your neighbor and be like, so I was eating this glass bottle that you gave me, and like, now my insides are bleeding.
Oh no.
And
okay, hear me out. Hear me out.
Here's why you're worse than Hitler.
Hear me out. Mothman.
What about Mothman's your neighbor?
We're gonna give them all Mothman.
Yes. I think that's
all of our neighbors
great.
Get tiny Mothman.
Little tiny rubber cryptids. This is a visual benefit for the people who are watching the video.
Get them up there. We gotta do hold on, we're gonna do the influencer thing.
Is that a thing that they do?
Yeah, it's to make the camera like focus.
I see.
This is not that kind of camera, but he's dark, so that you can see him and not like blend in with our hair.
I see.
You can see Mothman.
He's adorable. My one complaint with this tiny little rubber Mothman is that he don't have them cheeks. If there's one thing I know about Mothman, it's that he's double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon.
Okay, I think we've solved the problem, is that we need to go and meet our neighbors and give them all tiny Mothman.
Yeah, that is actually the perfect neighbor gift. It's
definitely won't go wrong.
Actually the perfect gift to just break the ice with anybody.
Anyone. Yeah. Hi, nice
anybody
to meet you.
Ever.
Here's Mothman.
Would you like a Mothman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, we've solved the problems with our world, everybody.
I said we wouldn't
you
do
said
it in
we
this
couldn't
podcast,
do
but
it with just one podcast,
yeah.
but We have.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah. Everybody, just go get some Mothmen and go make some friends. You've been listening to Fandom of the Opera. The music that you heard at the beginning and end of the podcast is an excerpt from Calling for Jane by Rachel Dean and Aaron Reifler. You can find us on social media, me at Divatron9000.
Me at Barrett Owned.
Huge thank you to our patrons on Patreon, especially Cindy, Chuck, Bill, and Olive. You too can join our Patreon, starting from a free tier all the way up to lots of money if you like what we're doing and you want to get some special behind-the-scenes content. We, of course, also post a lot of free things over there, so come and join the community. If you like what you're hearing, please consider subscribing on the podcast listening platform of your choice and rate us, comment, engage in whatever way that your platform has for you to engage. All of these things help us reach new eyes and ears and hopefully continue to grow this incredible community. You can email us at fandomoftheoperapodcast@gmail.com if you have questions, comments, or thoughts that you want us to share on the podcast. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.